Hi, my name is Nicole, also known as Zaddy Rags, and today we are going to make some vegan Jamaican beef patties. So I've been super craving beef patties lately, but I am a vegetarian, so I decided to make the vegan version, and they came out so good, so good, so good. But before we get into this tutorial, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button down below, as well as comment and like to see more videos just like this. All right, y'all, let's get into it.
The Zaddy anthem. I want y'all all to get on your feet, right? This is the Zaddy anthem. I want y'all. This is the Zaddy anthem. This is the Zaddy anthem. This is the Zaddy anthem. This is the Zaddy anthem.
Alright, so hopping right onto this tutorial, I'm using some all-purpose unbleached flour. We're going to go for 2 full cups of this flour, a half a teaspoon of turmeric, a half a teaspoon of curry powder, Jamaican curry powder, to give it that yellow color. I'm gonna use 1 grind of sea salt, just a dash, and 1/4 teaspoon of sugar. From here, we're gonna grab another bowl and we're gonna just sift out the flour just so it's nice and thin. So pour it into a strainer, and then from here, we're just gonna whisk it out, make sure that it's nice and smooth. So go ahead and do that. Now it's time to add some butter. I'm using this vegan butter from Trader Joe's. I'm going for 1/2 cup here. Just slab it into that bowl. Now you need to grab some ice water, like super ice cold. I had some ice cubes in there and they slowly melted it out, but make sure that the water is cold, and you're gonna slowly just drizzle the water in and start to create a dough with your hands. So knead out that dough and then slowly start drizzling the water as you knead it out. So try not to put all of it at once. You don't want it to get too soaked. So just take your time and knead it out. It took me about like 5 to 10 minutes to really get it to a soft texture. So just continue to do that until it's nice and soft. So as you continue on, remember to really just take your time adding that water in. You don't want it to get too mushy. If it does, you're gonna have to start all over again. And as you're going on, you continue to see that yellow color just slowly starting to graduate in. So once it's nice and yellow, we're gonna move on to our next steps. So once you're done, it should look like this. What we're gonna do is grab some saran wrap and wrap it around the bowl or wrap it around the dough, either one, whatever works for you. And we're gonna pop it into the refrigerator for about 25 minutes so it can get nice and soft and loosen out. While it is loosening out, we're going to start creating our filling. Grab some olive oil and then slowly heat up your pot. So as the pot is getting hot, I had diced up some onions and some scallions and some fresh garlic. From here, I'm just gonna let it all simmer into the pot and get nice and marinated into that oil. So I got a fresh Habernaro pepper. This is gonna give it that spice, that little heat. I don't like my patties too spicy, so I'm just gonna put a little bit in there, but if you wanna really spice it up, I will put a little bit more. I'm just dashing it in there a little bit. We're just gonna stir it around and continue to just let those veggies steam out. So for the meat substitutes today, I'm gonna be using this beefless from Trader Joe's. I'm just gonna grind it out and then mix it all in so everything can be all marinated together. So from here, we're gonna focus on getting that flavor in. So let's grab our seasonings. I'm gonna use some black pepper, sprinkle it on in. Then some garlic powder, just drizzle right on top. Some paprika. I'm using some all-purpose, or you can use some lawrys seasoning. Just put a little bit because we're also going to be using some aminos, which also has a salty taste. So just put a dash of that. I forgot to record that part. And then we're just gonna go for some coconut milk to give it that nice moistured texture, as well as give it a nice marinated taste when you're biting into it. So it was super good. I forgot about the thyme in the beginning, so I'm adding it in now. So we're just gonna throw some thyme in there and just let it simmer on top. And lastly, we're gonna add some panko seasoning, just sprinkle it in to give it some of that texture. Then we're gonna stir it around and we're gonna let it simmer for about 3 to 5 minutes. Feel free to put a lid on there and add a little bit of more coconut milk if you need to. If you feel like it's drying out, you wanna make sure that it's nice and moist. Once you're done, it should look like this. So you can go ahead and turn off the stove. And now we're going to go preheat the oven to 375. So yum, I just transferred my mixture into a bowl. And at this point I had took out the thyme chunks. So just take out those thyme pieces so they're not inside of the filling for your patty. So from here we're gonna take off the saran wrap and just start working with our dough. You see it's nice and soft, nice soft texture at this point. So we're just gonna grab some extra flour and some ice water, and we are just going to break apart these pieces of dough. Grab some of your flour and just roll it out, knead it back out, and make little balls. So this is what we're gonna use to create our little patties. So just take your time and break apart each pieces and use that flour so that it doesn't get too moist. So once you're done, you're just gonna grab one of your balls, and I have a pinwheel roller, so I'm gonna roll out these patties. I was being super lazy, so just take your time at this part if you really wanna make them presentable. So just roll them out into a circular motion for all the patties. I did them all at one time because I just rather just get them all out the way and put the filling in together, but whatever floats your boat. So I'm just gonna roll out all these little balls. And if you do feel like the dough is starting to stick to the pinwheel, remember, just go ahead and sprinkle some flour on top. I already have some on my board, so it's not really sticking too much. But if you feel like it's starting to stick, just go ahead and drizzle a little bit of flour, and it should help with that sticking. So now that I'm done rolling out all of my pieces of dough, we're gonna start adding the filling in. So I'm just gonna put some into the center, and then we're just going to fold it over nice and tight. They're trying to come out to the sides, so tuck it in nice and tight. Again, like I said, I was rushing and I was being super lazy, so really take your time if you focus on presentation here. So tuck in those ends, just seal it together. So for the first patty I made, I decided to do it without ice water. I just wanted to see if it would make a difference. And for the rest of them, I used ice water. It turns out it really didn't make a difference. So from here, I'm putting the filling in, and then I'm putting the ice water around to close and seal them in. But it really didn't matter, so this part is totally up to you. And then we're just going to fold it over again, and then tuck our ends in nice and tight. And then from here, we're just gonna go ahead and grab our fork and create those lines within our sealed ends. So once you're done, we're just gonna pop those puppies right into the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. For all the patties that I did not use, I usually just grab some paper towel and rip them up, and then use it as a way to meal prep for later on in the week if I just want a little snack or something like that. So just wrap it up in some paper towel so that it doesn't get freezer burn or anything, and then put it in a container to use later. And remember, if you are going to do this part, remember to put it in the freezer and not the fridge, because the dough is uncooked, so it will spoil. So make sure that you put it in the freezer. So after about 20 to 25 minutes, you're going to take them out once they're nice and brown. So these patties are done. I made them super ugly, but you can take your time with them. And I'm just gonna go ahead and bite into it, and we'll see how it is. Oh no! Well, hold up. Where's the camera? Wait, these ones are fire. It literally tastes like a beef patty. One thing that I would say, I probably should have made the filling just a little bit more moist. But it's still pretty moist, but I would just, you know how like real beef patties are like more like kind of like wet in the middle. I like that texture, so I would say to make it probably put a little bit more liquid base in there. But so good. Yeah, so remember to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. Yeah. All right, see you later, y'all.